Hey, good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing today? How are you guys doing today? Once again, this is Gregory Wiles for this inspirational morning walk, but it's not much of a walk today. I'm not getting out on those icy roads today to walk, so I will sit this one out. I'll go back in and just walk around the house some, nothing outdoors today. You guys are aware of the crazy weather we're getting here in Houston. Nothing that we used to. We are not used to these icy conditions going down to 12 degrees Fahrenheit. And for the people who still on the Celsius, using the Celsius scale, that's about minus 11. That's in Houston. In Dallas and a little further north in certain other areas, they went down even to single digits, getting closer down to low down in the single digits. But yes, that is our situation here. But right now it's just over freezing. It's just about 34 degrees. That's in about an hour. We should expect some more snow. According to the forecast, that should be the last of it. And the crazy thing is, next week we'll be back into the type of weather that we're familiar with, back up in 70s. Some parts of the day will be hitting back 70s. That's the kind of weather we're familiar with in the winter, not these freezing temperatures. But anyhow, I'm going to still continue what I do here. I'm going to still continue, get a chance. We have power back. I want to pray for a lot of the people right here in Houston who was out of power since about Monday morning and up to last night. Power was not being restored. I just want to pray that they get power back pretty soon. It's no fun being in these cold weathers without any type of heating. But anyhow, I will jump into it today. What I want to talk about. The last time we spoke, first of all, this is Gregory Watts. For first-time listeners, I get some exercise in the mornings, and I share my thoughts with you guys. Whatever I'm inspired to talk about that day, I'll share with you guys. And like I said, everything is on YouTube. If I'm talking about something and I reference something, you can go back on YouTube and look at that and see and see what I was talking about. Because sometimes I use some teachings that we did before, and I wouldn't go in depth into it. But it's there on YouTube if you want to get an idea what I was talking about. But anyhow, today, I know the last time we met, I think it was last Friday, we had started on dreams. We'd started talking about dreams. We're taking your dreams serious, and we mentioned that there's basically two type of dreamers, and that is the straight dreamers and symbolic dreamers. The straight dreamers and symbolic dreamers. And we went into some straight dreams. Straight dreams meaning people dream some stuff, and just how to dream it, they would see it manifest real in the real life. Same way how to dream, it might manifest real life. Good morning, Jillian. Good morning. How are you doing? How are you doing? Yeah, so that's what we were talking about. Straight dreamers and symbolic dreamers. And we went through a few straight dreams. So now, yes, Jillian, it's just still cold. Just about freezing. So I came out and still ice, a lot of ice on the ground. So I can't walk around and do nothing, but I just could get to my vehicle and sit here and just get this little word out. All right. Yes. So we're gonna go through today some symbolic dreams. Symbolic dreams, meaning the symbols in these dreams, then and you have to get some type of interpretation. It's not like the straight dream where everything just comes just as straight as just manifests in reality, just how you dream them, right? So we can go through some symbolic dreams, and I will show you some little revelations in these dreams. I chose some dreams that we all familiar with. So it's not, these dreams are not new, but we'll just go a little bit into them and pull out some revelations out of them, right? So let's get into Joseph's dream in Genesis 37, 5 through 11. Genesis 37, 5 through 11. Let's talk about one of the first dreams that Joseph had, right? Tessa, good morning. Good morning, Tessa. Good morning. How are you doing? So let's talk about first dream that Joseph had, Genesis 37, 5 through 11. Then Joseph had a dream. When he told it to his brothers, they hated him even more, right? He had this dream, and he told it to his brothers. They hated him even more. Remember, they didn't like Joseph already because they say he's the father favorite. and all the good stuff. So now he had this dream, and they hated him even more for this dream. He said to them, "Listen to the dream that I've had. We were gathering grain in the field. My bundle of grain stood up. Your bundle of grain gathered around it and bowed down to my bundle." Then his brother said to him, "Are you going to be king over us? Are you going to be our king? Are you going to rule over us?" So they hated him even more for his dream and for what he had said. So Joseph had this dream. You see, he didn't know. Renita, good morning. Good morning. Joseph had this dream, so he didn't know anything about the interpretation of this dream, right? He had this dream, and I told you guys with symbolic dreamers, lots of times, majority of the times, the symbols in the dream is going to be around what you're familiar with. Your job, what field you in, depends on what country you grew up in, what neighborhood. It's going to be something that you kind of familiar with, and that's a lot of the symbols going to be around. So you see, like in this case here, they're familiar with this wheat and grain. That was a big part of the economics back then, right? The wheat and the grains and stuff. So this symbol come like they're in the field, as he's saying, they were gathering the grain in the field, and his bundle stood up, and the bundles of his other brothers that they were gathering, those bow down to his bundle, right? So he's not a physical person, but it's his bundle of grain that he had, and their bundle of grain that they were gathering bow down to his bundle. See, the brothers, this family was a gifted family. They had the gift of interpretation. So you see how quickly the brothers interpret this dream without even realizing it. But we're not going to get into that. They had this gift of interpretation and didn't even realize it because of this so much, they so hate him. They didn't even realize they interpret this dream without even thinking about it. As soon as he said, they could interpret it right away. So they're saying, well, you're going to be our king? If we bow into you, because back in those days, you only bow to the king, right? And certain higher rankings. So they're saying, if we can be bowing to you, then you're going to be ruling over us at some point. We only bow to people who are ruling over you. And they hated him even more, right? So you see how they interpret this dream. So let's go on to see a next dream here that he had. This is in Genesis 9. Now, Genesis 37:9. Then he had another dream, and he told it to his brothers. He said, "I have another dream. The sun and the moon and the 11 stars were bowing down to me." The sun, the moon, and the 11 stars was bowing down to him, right? Him means Joseph. He told it to his father. He told it to his father and to his brothers. His father spoke sharp words to him, saying, "What is this dream you have had? Will I and your mother and your brothers come to bow ourselves down to the ground in front of you?" So the father too, we see how he interpret this quickly, right? Joseph's brothers were jealous of him, but his father thought about what he had said. Now the father thinking, this guy having this dream and saying the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars bowing down to him. He's going to be some type of ruler. See, the father, although some translations said the father rebuked him, right? They said this one said the father spoke sharp words to him, right? Saying, "What are you talking about? Me, your mother, and your brothers can bow." Joseph never said this is his mother and his brother. All he said the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars, right? But you see how the father put this together. He's saying the sun, which is the greater light, that represents him, right? The moon, which is the lesser light, represent the mother, and the 11 stars, obviously, is these 11 brothers. Remember, it's 12 of them, right? 12 of the boys. So you see, the father put this together quickly. Again, they were blessed with the gift of interpretation, right? They were blessed with the gift of interpretation. So if this happening, this guy can be some type of ruler. So, and that's what, there's a piece of revelation in here, and I chose these dreams here to bring out a piece of revelation. Sometimes if you get in dreams that are back to back, around the same thing, you see these dreams here, the first one saying like he's going to be some ruler. The grain was bowing down to him. The second one is talking about how the sun and the moon, people bowing to him, right? People bowing to him. This saying, as they interpretation where his family interpreted it, he can be some type of ruler, some type of king, some type of ruler he's going to be where they're going to be bowing to him and people are going to be bowing to him. So this saying, if you have recurring dreams around the same thing like this, it might not be the exact same, but it leading to the same thing, like how people bowing to him here. These are dreams. Most times they are going to happen. It's confirmation that whatever you're dreaming about is going to happen. It's confirmation. You can't stop them. It's not like some other dreams you get where you can rebuke them and you can change the course of it because the enemy trying to plant some seeds in your dream, which we can get into another day, right? But so these are showing you confirmation. This stuff is going to happen. You just know how to prepare for it and everything, right? So let's get into some other dream what Joseph had, dreams that we're familiar with, and pull out the revelation out to them. So now, which one is this? This is Genesis 41. We can read about 14 through 32. Genesis 41, 14 through 32. So let me shed some light. Remember, Joseph now came into his gift of interpretation, right? He came into his gift of interpretation because obviously this family was blessed with the gift of interpretation. When he was a young man, his gift did not manifested as yet, but his brothers and his fathers had this gift. So obviously this is a generational gift they have here, right? A generational blessing with the gift of interpretation, right? So now his gift manifested, just like how they have generational curses. This is a good example of a generational blessing, the gift of interpretation, right? Interpreting dreams. So this is Genesis 41, 14 through 32. Remember early on when he was in prison, he interpreted his dreams for the cupbearer and the baker, right? The chief cupbearer and the baker for Pharaoh, they interpret these dreams. And he told them guys when he come out, is the chief cupbearer, his dream was positive and saying, you know, Pharaoh gonna restore him and he can be giving Pharaoh his cup. But the baker dream was that Pharaoh is going to kill him in 3 days. You know, we can't get into that for the sake of time, but you can read it and see. But I want to get into when Pharaoh had his dreams right now, and the chief cupbearer remember Joseph in prison and tell the Pharaoh how this guy in prison, this Hebrew boy, they interpret his dream. So we can pick it up from there when Pharaoh sent for Joseph. Then Pharaoh then called for Joseph. Pharaoh had his dream. Now he called for Joseph to help interpret the dream because no one else could interpret it for him. Right? Pharaoh then called for Joseph and they brought him out of prison in a hurry. He cut off his hair. He cut off the hair on his face and put on clean clothes. Now, when you're going before royalty, you gotta make sure you're going at your best, right? So that's what you do. You shave on nicely, put on some clean clothes. Then he came to Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to Joseph, I have had a dream, but no one can tell me what it means. I've heard it said that you are able to hear a dream and tell what it means. Right? So Pharaoh tell him, I hear you got this gift of interpretation. You can tell me what a dream means because I tell it to all the wise men and they couldn't interpret it for me. Joseph answered Pharaoh, not by myself, and that's one thing I want to tell people, right? You, the physical person, don't really interpret dreams. There's a Holy Spirit in them. You got a gift of interpretation. I mean, you got a spirit of interpretation upon you, and that's who can do the interpretation. Because sometimes you might tell someone who got the gift to interpret the dream, and they might get nothing. It might take them months, might take them weeks. Some dreams come right away, but they have to wait until the Holy Spirit reveals to them what it is. And certain things, God don't want to reveal right away. Don't want to reveal right away. So you will not let that, he would not give you the interpretation. If you try to force interpretation, you can mislead someone real terribly. So you got to wait until that comes. So Joseph admitting that, not by myself, I don't do this by myself. But he said, God will give Pharaoh a good answer. God is the one who can interpret dreams through the Holy Spirit, through whoever's blessed with the gift of interpretation. That's why I want to make that clear to people. That person is now who doing it, the Holy Spirit through them, doing it through them, right? So those are Joseph admitting, I don't do this by myself. God will give Pharaoh a good answer. So Pharaoh said to Joseph, in my dream, I saw standing beside the Nile, that's the river, I saw 7 cows coming out of the Nile. They were fat and good looking, and they ate the grass beside the river. Then I saw 7 other cows coming after them. They looked bad and were thin. Those some real skinny cows, right? Bad and they were thin. I have never seen worse cows in all the land of Egypt. Then the bad looking cows that were that were thin ate the first 7 fat cows, but after they had eaten them, it could not be seen that they had eaten them, for they were just as bad looking as before. So he's saying these skinny cows eat these fat looking cows and didn't get no, didn't look no way, they looked the same way skinny that they were. He couldn't even tell they eat these fat cows, right? But but after they had eaten them, it could not be seen that they had eaten them, for they were just as bad looking as before. Then I awoke. I saw also in my dream 7 heads of grain growing on one stick of grain. They were large and full. Then I saw 7 heads of grain coming after them. They were small and were dry because of the east winds. The small heads of grain ate the 7 good heads of grain. Then I told this to the wise men, but there was no one who could tell me what it means. So you see, again, these symbols are around things that they're familiar with. The Nile is a river right there. Cows, cattle was a big part of their economics, right? And then you see again here about this grain, because grain and these cattle, that was their big thing. So, and coming out of the Nile River. So you see again, these dreams are around symbols that they're kind of familiar with, right? They can, but again, it's the same. It's this two. So let's go on and see what Joseph say here, and then we can talk about it. So Joseph said to Pharaoh, this is in Genesis 41:25. We all know. So Joseph said to Pharaoh, Pharaoh dreams are one and the same. God has shown Pharaoh what he's about to do. The 7 good cows are 7 years, and the seven good heads of grain are 7 years. The dreams are one and the same. So Joseph saying this is the same dream. Remember, Joseph had a similar dreams, a recurring thing, two different kind of themes, but both kind of things bowing. So now this Pharaoh dream is two of the same. You see, it's a recurring dream. It's confirmation. When you have dreams recurring like this, it's confirmation. In this case here now, God showing Pharaoh what's going to happen in this land, and the only thing he can do is to prepare for it. He can't change this. This is going to happen. You can just know how to prepare for it, right? So Joseph, and these dreams are the same. The 7 bad-looking cows that are thin that came up after them are 7 years, and the seven small heads of grain made dry by the east wind means 7 years without food. It is as I have said to Pharaoh. God has shown Pharaoh what he's about to do. 7 years are coming when there will be much food in all the land of Egypt. But after them will come 7 years when there will be no food. The time of much food will be forgotten in the land of Egypt. The time of no food will destroy the land. The time without food will be so bad that no one in the land will remember when they had much. That the dream was sent twice to Pharaoh shows that it will happen. It will happen. It's planned by God, and God will make it happen soon. So he's saying, because you get this recurring dream like this is going to happen. God's showing you he's going to do this. No rebuking this, no coming into agreement, no, nothing. This is going to happen, Pharaoh. So only thing you can do, and if you read on the story, Joseph tell him how to prepare for it, right? So sometimes you're getting these back-to-back dreams. God might show you, like in the case of Joseph, was in the future for you. And you see, you don't know if it's tomorrow, next week. Joseph had to wait a month of years. So now, in this part, when he interprets his dreams to Pharaoh, if you read the story, this is when he become the ruler, right? When he tell Pharaoh how we need to prepare, Pharaoh said, well, since you know this, why you don't be in charge, put you in charge. And that's how he come in to the manifestation of the first set of dreams he had as a young man, right? And that's how he become the ruler. And his, the story is all what happened in these dreams. Their family bow to him and he become this big ruler, and people bow to him and all of that, right? So I choose these dreams to show you, once you get in these recurring dreams about different things, it's confirmation about something that is going to happen, whether good or bad. And you just have to know how to prepare for it. It's not going to change. But if you have, one-off dreams, the enemy could come put things in your dreams. When you get up, you can rebuke those dreams. A safe thing to do, if you don't even remember the dream, you don't understand it, say, God, if this dream is of you, I come into agreement of it. But if it's not of you, I cancel it. I cancel it. It shall not take any shape of my life. But if it's just simple, you come into agreement if it's of God, you're not sure what's the interpretation, or you cancel it if it's from the enemy, right? So recurring dreams, I want you to take that seriously. Any dreams that are recurring is something that is going to happen. It's something. Some of us have these dreams, but I had some dreams back to back to back to back, different scenarios like this. You're still waiting for the full interpretation of it, but something is going to happen. Fast and pray and ask God for interpretation. Show me what's going on, what's going to happen, so you can prepare for what's going to happen, right, guys? So that's just a quick little thing here on symbolic dreams. We can get a lot deeper into some other dreams. I know a lot of people dreaming of the deceased. I think I might do that next, dreaming about dead people, about your dead mom, your uncle, your aunt, your father, your grandfather. You're dreaming about these dead people and what that means, guys. What that means is a trick of the enemy, man. I had that, but I'm not gonna go into much. But the next one we're gonna talk about that, and we can talk about the meaning of those dreams, and so you can get some more insight about that, dreaming about the dead. All right, guys, so I'm gonna leave it there today, guys. I'm gonna run him back in this house and bundle up. It started to snow a little bit here. Some flurries started to come down. That's true to the forecast. And the bad thing about it, it's snow and rain, so everything that's coming down just turning ice right away. So I'll hop right back into the house and be safe, guys. You guys have a blessed day. Okay, bye.